Here we are with this blown out wall right here that used to be blocking off the kitchen from this family room area, and now you can see it's totally opened. And I just love the transition. We've already seen a light change in here. The way this room is going to interact with the living room and the rest of the house is going to be a pretty dramatic change for this homeowner. Anyway, so this is blown out. What did we find out? Well, we didn't have a support wall here to deal with. We thought that it might be, didn't think it was, but sure enough, we pulled it out, it was not. But we sure found a couple things we didn't expect, and one was an air conditioning vent that had to be rerouted, and one other thing was actually a toilet vent, and that was a little more difficult, but it got buried in that back wall. Pretty much anything that we run into on the job can be fixed. Haven't ever had a situation that it blew the plan. Thank God for that. But anyway, this is turning out kind of nice. So let's take a look at what really is happening here. We have the electrical in, the plumbing is pretty much set. Everything is getting ready to be finished off the walls, and that's why I wanted you to see this part. Having the electrical plan right, the plumbing plan right, all of those things really don't work well unless you do it on a CAD design. And where we tell the contractors that we need something exactly, that usually means exactly, because it's planned to have a light right in front of a cabinet centered. In this case right here, we have a soffit that's been built down all the way around this kitchen. All of our cabinets go all the way up to that. The margin of error around that soffit, the tolerance is very tight. I think it's about 1/2 inch. So when the cabinets go in, we can't have 2 inches on one side and an inch over there and 1/2 inch. It all has to be symmetrical, and so that just takes a lot of design and a good contractor to get it to the point that the cabinets fit well. Let me tell you what's kind of important to me. There is a great deal of lighting plans out on the market, and I've used most of them. There's some very, very sophisticated. There's some not so sophisticated. I kind of use one right in between. But what's important to me in a lighting plan is a fail-safe system. I've seen lighting plans that have been done for the entire house that if they have a failure somewhere or the memory goes down, guess what? You can't even turn your lights on. That becomes a real pretty serious issue in a house. I like a lighting system that has a backup plan, and this is the backup plan. It's very simple. One other great thing about it is it's very easy to wire, so it's not a learning curve for the electricians. A lot of times we can get into lighting plans and the electricians look at it and all of a sudden there's a huge learning curve about how to run the wires, where it goes to the brain, how the system works together. This is very easy. All of the lights that are in here are wired exactly the same, and we put switches in a hidden height. And I'm standing in a pantry area right now. So we take all the switches that would normally be on the wall and we bury them in an area that you never see it. Sometimes it's inside cabinets. I typically like to do it inside closet areas, things like that, because it's easy to get to. But all the switches are here. From this point, then, the lighting control is wired, and this is where it is on the outside of this wall here. The lighting control's out here. So the customer will hit the keypad on this side, which will then interact the switches on this side and turn the lights on. Now, why is that important? Sounds like a little double work. Well, it's a protection. If this fails for some reason, the brain goes out, the homeowner can come in here, flip these switches, and they're back to normal as if they didn't have a lighting program. So I love the backup side of that. It's an easy installation, relatively inexpensive to do. I think they're around $800 to $1,000 to do a typical kitchen, and gives you really as much control as the big systems does, and it just kind of shrinks it down. So that's the lighting program. I love it. Now, talking about the pantry. This pantry right here is actually going to be an appliance pantry. Probably put the coffee maker in here, big appliances, big platters, things like that. We've got a whole closet system that's going inside that, which is going to make it extremely organized and will be fun. One interesting thing about this house, unusual, extremely unusual today, it's all plaster. I know of only one new home built that I've ever worked in the last 10 years that did plaster. This is all plaster walls. I love plaster walls. I don't know the price difference, that it's that dramatic. I've priced it both ways. It's a little more to do plaster, but boy, do you get a totally different finish, totally different feel than regular sheetrock has. So I'm a fan of plaster. Most customers don't do it. We're having to continue on with it because the entire house is that. Makes it a little bit of a challenge on ceilings when you start cutting holes, but we're going to make that work. As you can see, we have soffits here. Sink's going to come right back in here, and over on this space right over here, again, is a pantry. And this is going to be nothing but food. So we have a appliance pantry over on that side. We have a food pantry over here. And anybody that knows me, when I design kitchens, I always design pantries in because it takes all of the pressure off the cabinetry. Now the cabinetry is doing what it really should be doing. All of the cleaning area gets the cleaning supplies. It has storage to put dishes away. All the cooking area has cooking supplies in it. All your pots and pans and your oils and all of your spices are over there. And all your food ends up in a pantry. So it works out really great. Sub-zero refrigeration going right here, ovens over here. So you can see the space is really starting to take shape. I'm very, very excited about it.